In today's video, we're going to be doing a long-term review on our 23 F450 6.7 power stroke high output. As you can see, we've got the snowplow on the front, salt spreader on the back, and we've been putting this truck to work. This has been, a plow rig for us. As you see, the side steps, they actually get used quite a bit, and we're always loading materials here in this extra space between the salt spreader and the cab. But we're right at 36,000 miles with this truck, so I guess that's almost pretty much it for the bumper-to-bumper warranty on this. But we still have whatever extended time frame warranties that you would get. The I don't know, powertrain and all that stuff still gets covered for a little while longer. But I kind of was thinking maybe I should take this in to get a couple of the other items looked at. I know we just took our other truck in, and when you look at this thing, we've got 35. Dang, we're a couple of 100 miles here away from our bumper to bumper warranty. Very interesting. If we lose that level of coverage, that definitely is something to consider. Didn't realize it was getting that close. But yeah, almost 36,000 miles on the truck. Bumper to bumper is almost over in 2 years. We've been rolling pretty good in this truck. Normally, the time will run out before the miles would get to 36,000, but in our case, our miles have gotten up. Our miles have gotten up quicker than the time. But what's interesting about the 450, this truck in particular, the 23, is out of all the trucks I've had in my life, quite a few Fords. I think I had a Chevy, but this has been the one truck that has been like the biggest upgrade, where the functionality and whether or not it's been worth it has really been a factor. This has been one of the most valuable upgrades as far as utility and all that. Like when I got the 7.3, I went from a Ford 6.2 liter to a 7.3 liter, but the trucks were pretty similar. Not that big of a difference as far as utility is concerned. The engine upgrade from the 6.2 to the 7.3, not a big deal. But this is the truck that having this upgrade, this model year where the interior was updated. I'm sorry, when the interior was updated and the whatever was done with the truck, the side steps and whatever else has been changed. This has been the year where I've seen the most value increase as far as just using it day to day. I don't know about resale value. I don't know about the resale value being significantly better this time around, but I do feel that the utility of this truck is much higher than the outgoing model. Now, the simple things, the steps on the side, you'd be blown away how many times something like that gets used. And the interior, the comfort, much more comfortable truck. This is just a Lariat. It doesn't have the max recline and all that stuff going on. It's just a Lariat, not a Lariat Ultimate. It doesn't have all the thrills. It doesn't have the heads-up display and all that. But it's got enough to where it's just a really comfortable truck. If I had to sit in this truck for 40 hours straight, which I've done, these seats, they don't feel worn out afterwards, and they have the right amount of support. They really do have just the right amount of everything that you need. I mean, I can sit, like I say, 40 hours straight. Where the other Lariat that I had, the outgoing, it was a 20. I did not like sitting in it for 30 plus hours. It was fine for an hour, but after like 30 hours, not the best. This truck, I could really drive this truck across country and just be much more comfortable than any other previous truck that I had before. Another thing that I think that they changed is the steering on this thing. It just doesn't wander. This is the first solid axle Ford that I have had that does not wander. Now, I drove, when I got the new tires on the 350, we got some Duratrax on it. I wanted to drive it around just to see what it was like, and the thing wandered all over the place, even though like the front end was just tightened up with a couple of components and drag link and all that. The truck wandered, whereas this truck, the return to center is so much more aggressive, and I just feel that they put more caster in the truck, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know what they did in 23, but I do think there's a different specification for the caster angle on this. And caster is basically your upper and lower ball joint. How offset are they from each other? Like, the lower one's going to be positioned ahead of the upper one, and the more head that lower is, the more positive the caster angle is. And it's like essentially taking the weight of the truck. Oh, look, that guy towing. You're essentially taking the weight of the truck and using that to center the steering wheel. So the more caster you have, the more straighter the steering wheel wants to run, or correct. If you have too much caster, then it's hard to turn, because it's just wanting to always go straight. But if you have too little, then it just wanders around and feels like you're in a shopping cart. So they really did something with the caster, and they got it just right to where this thing just wants to go straight. You could just let go of the steering wheel, and it just wants to track. It just wants to track straight. Now, the steering is really heavy this time around because I did not get the assist motor. That it's a really nice thing to have the assist motor. I really wish I would have gotten that, but I didn't. And it's just heavy to steer. But the utility of this truck. Now, one other thing that it has that's good is the Pro Power on board. Nice that it's in there and it's integrated. It's not the most powerful system. Again, they kind of missed the mark a little bit, just for the fact that even though it's 2,000 watts, it's not really pushing that much power. Like, it seems like the 2,000 watts is like a max or a surge, and it's really just not super available, and things don't run great when you plug them in. Like, I've tested it out and like plugged in a vacuum, like a big Dyson plug-in vacuum into it, and the motor didn't sound that great on there. And I plugged my air compressor into it, the big one, and it didn't really want to do it. It kind of did it a little bit, then it would cut off and it'll be overpowered. So it's nice. It will charge your laptops. It will do things, but I don't know if it's a pure sign. I don't. Some motors just sound weird when they run on it, and it just doesn't have that kind of surge to get big stuff going. And I don't know. I think for what it is, I think it's 2,000 watts. I think it would have been better if they would have I don't know, figured another way. It's tricky to put an inverter inside of a vehicle to convert over to the higher voltages, because it takes a lot of copper to put a power inverter inside of a 12-volt vehicle. One of the things they did with this vehicle is they put a 24-volt generator under the hood and a 24-volt and a pair of 12-volt batteries ran in series to be 24 volts, so that they could achieve that higher voltage. But at the end of the day, you kind of have a compromise. I don't like that you have to lose your dual alternator in order to achieve what we're achieving here. So I mean, it's good if you really need that mobile office. It will do mobile office just fine. Charge your Milwaukee batteries just fine. I don't like that they tout it as a job site tool where it's barely going to be able to do anything on a job site. It's not going to run like things. It's not going to run things through extension cords because that's going to get to be too much resistance. It's not going to have that kind of pop. Like a good 3,000 watt pure sine wave inverter with the 6,000 watt surge. Now you can say, okay, this is a job site inverter. But what they have in here, nah. It's still nifty and it's still nice. I mean, you could run probably quite a few laptop chargers in here, maybe a printer. It's still useful, but I could build a better system and have built a better system with like 400 amps of alternator juice. You'd need some thick copper wires, but it can be done. A 3,000 watter can be done, and it would have more power. As far as it being integrated into the whole system, like when you're driving, it wants to step down the inverter to 1,500 watts. And it will work, but just steps it down. And you just wonder why. Why even go through the trouble of like putting it on and then stepping it down? So if I press the inverter button, which is right there, it says generator mode on. And there's another screen. I don't want to pull it up right now, but it'll tell you straight up, because you're driving your 1,500 watts. Why? Why does it have to lower it? It's just weird. I don't know. Just leave it alone if it's 2,000 watts. And also, whenever it tells you what the wattage draw is, it seems like it's a little bit off, and it doesn't really know how much wattage is actually being drawn. But all in all, like, I've been pretty happy with the truck. I mean, I've had no breakdowns with it. Minor issues, like a little glitch here and there on the screen, but it actually seems like it alleviated itself. Maybe an update or something got rid of it. There's a few open recalls that I just haven't gotten around to doing. One's for the cluster, where they want to just put a whole new cluster in it, which is a whole fiasco because they need to take the truck and keep the truck in order to do that. And if I'm not really having a problem, I don't see the need to give up my vehicle for an undetermined amount of time until a new cluster is in stock. And they have to have the vehicle because the mileage on the vehicle cannot change while they're waiting for the cluster. So kind of an inconvenience there. When, again, like I say, I'm not having an issue with the cluster, but they think there could potentially be an issue in the future. But 3,000 miles. Time really flew. And like I say, it's holding up good, The interior's holding up good. The seats are holding up good. They got a little accent pinstriping to them. They're real cushy seats. It kind of bugs me when the guys get into the truck because they like drag themselves out, and I don't want to be all like uptight. That's one of the things. I don't want to be too uptight about the truck. Like, my truck, you got to get in and out right. But you see it all over the Facebook forums. Guys are like, I don't understand why my seat is just tearing off. And it's like, man, you got to get in and out of that vehicle and not just drag yourself out of it. Like, get out. Like, guys will just take their little butt cheeks and just shove it onto the bolster of that seat right on the side and just flick their little butts off of the seat. Like, why are you doing that? Like, why are you trying to like rub your butt on all over the seat extra? Like, just, is there a way that you can just lift it up and get out of there? Like, why are you like hooking them? It's like they hook their cheeks right on the freaking bolster and then they hang there for a second. They just hang there and let their feet dangle, and then they pop off of it and let the cushion like spring back. And it's like you're just trying to rip the whole bolster out of the seat. But I don't say nothing. I just like, whatever. I mean, if the seat gets torn, I mean, honestly, you can tell. Looking at that seat, you can't tell that they have been doing that. So I guess it's fine. I mean, the driver's seat usually takes the brunt of the wear compared to the passenger seat. So my driver's seat does look more worn. It's just, I do get a door rattle from time to time. Not doing it today, but from time to time the door just jingles. But I mean, what are you gonna do? I just drive the truck. I could probably complain more, but I don't know. I'm not the biggest complainer. As long as it kind of works good. I know that will really bug some people, like the door. There it is. If you hit enough bumps, you can kind of hear. It's like the door, I don't know. The fitment of that door is just not right? But it doesn't have a whole lot of wind noise or nothing going down the freeway. It's just somehow this door, the hinge, I don't know what it is. But all in all, it's been, it's been a good truck. I mean, a little bit of oil consumption that actually might have gone down now that I've switched over to this AMSOIL 0W40, which is an oil that I've promoted quite a bit. And I don't know, we'll see. I switched over from the Hot Shot Secrets to the AMSOIL, and it does seem like I'm burning less oil. So time will tell. But all in all, I gotta say, like, this is one of the favorites that I've had. It does have its share of scratches and dings and stuff from working, but it's been a good truck. It's been a really dang good truck. Probably the best one that I've ever had, even better than the 2020 F450. Although the 20 did have things that were better. It's not, set in stone. Like, this one's 100% better in every way. The steering was so light on the other one, so great for plowing snow. I would give the turning ability, the steering had a variable pitch, something or another going on where it was lighter. It had two different settings. It just steered like a dream, the other one. But it wandered the road too, where this one that's almost an even deal. I mean, this one, it drives better, but it doesn't steer in the parking lot better. The other one did steer in the parking lot a little bit better, whereas this one wanders the road. The engines, this one's got more power. Sometimes you can kind of tell, but it's got so much more emissions that, kind of a wash. You almost had to get the high output this year just to make up for all the extra emissions they put on. Like, it's a noticeable difference. The sound is different. It still sounds good like a diesel, but it smells different. It doesn't smell. I would have thought that the other one had a good emission system on it, like it filtered a lot. But this one, whatever they did with this exhaust, it's like filtering a significant amount more of the particulates out, and you can just tell by the way it smells. It just doesn't smell like it doesn't have any type of diesel exhaust smell at all. When you get around a 20, you get a little hint of it being a diesel and burning diesel fuel. So I feel this exhaust is a much more sophisticated exhaust filter, and some people actually might want that, believe it or not. I mean, as bad as it is for the engine, it doesn't stink up the shop. Like, if I had to pull this in and it's running for a minute, it doesn't smell. And if you're indoors, like if the skid steer runs indoors, you're about to feel lightheaded real fast, and you got to open up some air, make up air a lot more quicker. Was this one it would take you out slowly. You wouldn't know nothing happened. You just probably fall over and suffocate from carbon monoxide. Where the other ones, they'll choke you up. They'll choke you out of the room. And this one is just real sneaky. Like, it won't choke you up because that filter, it just seems like it's burning way more cleaner. So that could be a pro, that could be a con. For as far as cons, it's too quiet, in my opinion. When it revs up, you can't really hear the natural sound of an aggressive 1,200 foot-pound torque engine. But at the same time, it's probably cleaner for the environment. And if you have a small environment, like a enclosed shop space, it's certainly cleaner for that small space. So this truck is still compliant with the emissions being still intact. But overall, I feel it's better. It's been the most used truck in the shortest period of time that I've ever had. 2 years now. Not even a full 2 years, but maybe a year and 8 months, and maybe a year and 6 months. I don't know. But 36,000 miles put on real quick. The most amount of miles I put on a vehicle ever that fast. I mean, couldn't have leased the truck and put this kind of miles. So it definitely definitely got its use. Definitely put in its work. And yeah, I mean, pretty dang good truck. So comment below. Let me know your thoughts on the 23 F450. My review is it's a good truck, and these new models are so good. I thought about upgrading the 22 to one of these ones, you know, single rear wheel, but like you know, the bed steps are so useful, everything in the interior is so useful. Dare I say, do I get the Pro Power on that one? I don't know, maybe not, but yeah, certainly an upgrade. You know, going to the 23 or newer, definitely a good place to grab an upgrade for sure. Definitely some value there. But anyway, my name is Sean. This is DS Trucks. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Over and out.